I'm gonna regret making this video. Hey, what's up guys? I am back making a Hydro Traveler guide. And you know what? Let's get straight into it. Hydro Traveler is the newest element that you can get with Fontaine, as every single region that we've gotten with Mihoyo's great wisdom. We've gotten a lot of them. We've gotten Anemo, Electro, Geo, Dendro, and now the newest one, Hydro. All of them have been amazing. But what about Hydro? Yeah, this one is bad. Yeah, no, this one's bad. Hydro Traveler is really bad, like incredibly bad. He is not good at all. But I'm here to tell you how you can build him, because you know what? I'm a dumbass and I want to give you that kind of information. So let's do it. We're going to start off with the details first, and of course the base stats that I recommend that you go ahead and focus first off. First up is going to be Energy Recharge. You're going to want to focus on this the most. Energy Recharge is going to help you so much. Well, we'll go look at his burst right now, actually. You guys see how much this cost? 80. Who in their right mind made it 80? Who does that? Like, what? Next up is your EM. You're going to get this as high as you can. And the other two stats that I actually do recommend is crit rate and crit damage. Your damage is going to be very important on Hydro Traveler, as he doesn't really do much. So best to get him more damage. All right, I am a believer of the Sacrificial Sword, and I like Sacrificial Sword so much that I am going to make my own list on it. Sacrificial Sword is probably his best in slot. I really like Sacrificial Sword a lot more than a lot of other weapons. I do recommend Sacrificial Sword, but there's some other weapons that you can use. You can, of course, use Wolffang, Favonia's Sword, the French Sword, of course, and his best in slot for the pay-to-win people, Primordial Jade Cutter. For his artifacts, you are going to be using a golden set and a 2-piece hydro damage bonus set. So it can either be Nymph set or a Heart of Depth set. Either way, it's good. For your sands, you're either going to be using attack or HP sands. For your goblet, you're going to be using a hydro damage bonus cup. For your circlet, you can either be using a crit rate or a crit damage circlet. Either way, it's good. Constellations, the most important thing ever. First up is your C2. Now, before we actually get into this is going to be able to give you more damage on your Q. Here's the funny thing about your Q. You can miss your Q, and it's happened to me. I missed. How does that thing miss? But the movement speed will decrease, which means more damage for your Q. Next up is going to be your C6. You actually get actual healing, and I'll talk more about that later, but your healing increases. Next up, for your talents, you're going to be focused on your burst and your skill. Don't focus on your normal attacks, as that thing is as useless as, I don't know, it's pretty fucking useless though. For your first talent, you basically get healing if you hold your E. Now I'm going to be real, this healing is literally nothing. This is useless.
This is worthless.
And for your other talent is gonna be more damage for your E. Now for the fun part, team compositions. Ayaka team. This is just basically freeze Ayaka, but you're just replacing Kazuha with Hydro Traveler. I'm gonna be completely real. This team is so dog shit. This team is terrible. Hydro Traveler has no way of generating his own orbs, so you are relying on Kokomi for orb generation, which I don't have to tell you, is pretty fucking bad. This team is getting a 7 out of 10. Next up is a Nilo Bloom team. If you don't have a Baijo, you can swap them out with a Yao Yao if you have that. This team actually surprised me the most. This is actually a relatively good team, as Nilo and Hydro Traveler actually mix well together. And it's actually super surprising how well it is. This team is getting a 8.5 out of 10. Next up, we have a Raiden Hyper Bloom Shogun team. Yeah, this one's actually really good, by the way. I'm not gonna dog on this team. This team's actually relatively amazing. You don't have to rely on getting orbs for your burst anymore, because Raiden Shogun just can generate that all for yourself. And it's immediately amazing for that situation. This team, in my personal opinion, is getting a 10 out of 10. That's how good this team is. And for last, we have a Alhaitham team, which is a Hyper Bloom Alhaitham. Now, I'll tell you right now, I said it in the past, Alhaitham Hyper Bloom is really shit. This team makes it less shit. It's pretty well made, and I think it's actually super easy to use. This team is definitely getting 8.5 out of 10. This is a relatively good team to use. And that's my Hydro Traveler guide. Well, that's been me. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.